You can find me on Instagram as aka Millie907 and on Ravelry as aka Millie. You can also find us on Ravelry under the group of AndersMill Knits, where you can currently sign up for our 24 Days of Cheer Swap, our third annual. Yeah. Well, I'll get to that in a second. That is a loud plane. So a little bit about everything. This is my third time trying to record this episode. It's been a doozy. So I'm just going to go ahead and say that if there's noise in the background, if there's airplanes, if there's dog barking, if you hear little kids playing in the background, I'm going to ask you to just take it with, as this is a busy neighborhood, I guess. I never knew it was a busy neighborhood until I've moved back here with my parents, but apparently it is. There's lots of kiddos, and that's great. That's wonderful. I love hearing their little voices playing. So, this is my mom's garden, and she does a wonderful job. I wish you could see the other areas around me at the moment. I'll put in a few pictures and a few, I think I have a video. I'm not sure if I have a video, but I'll put in a few pictures of her garden. She does amazing things. She does raspberries, potatoes, peas, strawberries, roses, which are very hard to grow in Alaska, and my favorite flower. Hers are tiger lily. Oh, she does blueberries, weeping hearts, is that what that's called? Bleeding hearts, something like that. A lot of forget-me-nots, seeing as that's our state flower. You can see them right over there. See them right there. A lot of tiger lilies, and let's see, I think we're also doing kale or cabbage, I'm not sure. Carrots for sure. Alaskan carrots are the best, I'm just gonna say that. If you leave them in the ground until after the first freeze, overnight freeze, all the sugars, the natural sugars in the carrots, I don't know if they intensify, something like that, and they are the sweetest, yummiest things in the face of the earth. Oh, they're the best. So, grew up having my grandmother's peas and carrots from her garden and her mint bush. For some odd reason, her mint bush is a big memory for me. And my mom is doing the same thing with her grandkids. They come over about once or a couple times a week, honestly. The ones that are up here in Alaska, they come over and help grandma in the garden and play croquet and those kinds of things. They really love my mom or their grandmother. It's awesome. I just got back from a 4-day camping trip, which was for me, it was pretty epic because I just really needed to get out of town and just get away from all the pressure, if you will, and then also at the same time be with my family. We did a lot of, I biked a lot because I took my bike with me. We hiked a lot, sort of. My mom has bad knees, and she's gotten them replaced and everything like that, but it's not like it didn't do a great job. So she can't walk very far. So we have to be very careful about that. and did a lot of, actually all the cooking was done over the campfire, and we did a lot of playing games, Ticket to Ride, which is our favorite, and things like Yahtzee, and I don't know if there's a different name for the card game, but we call it Black Lady. Well, you know, the Queen of Spades is worth 13 points, and it's the bad card, and all that kind of thing. And anyway, so a lot of playing that, and a lot of hooting and hollering going on because of that game. I am currently drinking a Diet Dr. Pepper from my local Holiday, a gas station, which when I was growing up, it was called Mapco, but then it was bought out by this corporation, and so it's now called Holiday. So most of the time, I tell people, I'm gonna go down to Mapco and get a soda. Luckily, all the people I tell that to still know exactly what I mean. So it's funny how some things just stick in your head, you know, because I can remember when I was like 14 and riding my bike down with my brother down to the local Mapco station to get a soda, and that was a really exciting thing to do. So, and I guess it just stuck in my head. Anyway, so been doing that, been applying for more jobs, been interviewing for multiple jobs, had a second interview with one place yesterday. I'm really hoping I get that job. I really liked the culture there at that facility, and at the same time I'm practicing the law of attraction, where I'm saying, you know, I'd love to have this job, but I don't need it, and I have done everything I can to get this job, and so now I'm going to let it go into the universe, if you will, and just allow to whatever happen. If it's meant to be that I get this job, then I'll get it. If it's not, then there are a lot of other jobs I can get, and I'm trying. So this morning I applied for 3 jobs, and there's one more that I want to apply for later on today. So, you know, something will happen. Something will turn up. The just right thing for Emily will turn up. I've had a couple offers that I've turned down, which seems weird, but you know, when you don't feel, what's the word? When you don't feel like it's right for you, or you have a bad feeling about it, you need to go with that. I didn't go with that bad feeling when I first moved up here, and that job that I took when I first moved up here, and it proved pretty horrible for me. So I'm really grateful that I have the opportunity right now to be living with my parents and to have a lot less, I guess, adult responsibilities in that way. I just sold my townhome that I've been holding on to up here last week, so that was a big thing for me. So, you know, I'm okay. I don't have to worry right now, if that makes sense. I will worry eventually, but at the moment, things are okay. And so, yeah, I think that's about everything that's been going on. Been doing a lot of bike riding. Next month for my birthday in July, I'm going to be doing my bike ride to Seward, so I'm getting pretty excited about that. My concussion is healing. We've been trying different things. I think we finally hit on the therapy that needs to happen in order for my concussion for the migraines to stay away. I've only had one migraine. Well, I've had multiple migraines since the last time we talked. I know that. But I've only had one migraine within the last 10 days, I want to say, which is amazing because for weeks I was having them every day, at least every other day, if not every day. It's kind of a fog for me during that time frame. So, and you know, you might have seen, like, I'll put a picture right here of what I looked like at one time when I had a migraine. And it's mainly, I'm one of those rare people, I guess, that doesn't react well to heat during migraines. Apparently, okay, one of my sisters, she needs heat, but my mother and my little sister and I all need cold. So cold on the back of the neck, cold and pressure on my forehead, and that helps relieve the pressure of the migraine. And I think it's because it is tightening up the blood flow veins. But from my understanding, I thought you needed them to release when it was a migraine. I don't get it. I don't understand, guys. I just know what works for me. So anyway, a little bit of administrative doohickeys. As I mentioned a few minutes ago, Stephanie Hot Pink Socks has graciously already uploaded and opened up the thread in the AndersMill Knits group for the 3rd annual 24 Days of Cheer swap signups, and that is really exciting. And I love that she's so not only gung-ho and on board with it, but she's getting to it early, because the last couple years we haven't gotten to it early enough, and I think that that was kind of holding us back. And because Stephanie is so on top of it and posted it in June, when we're not even going to be sending out our packages until the 1st of November, everybody's going to have plenty of time to get everything done. There should be no problems whatsoever. So if you're interested in signing up for the 24 Days of Cheer swap, you can go on over to the AndersMill Knits group on Ravelry and find the thread labeled thus, and you can sign up. Now, just a little bit of a reminder about what that is, a real quick reminder. As many of you know, there are lots and lots and lots of advent calendars out there, and they're great, but they're also very expensive for yarn. And so a couple years back, I thought to myself, well, why don't I do a swap where I just come up with the mini skeins from my stash? And that way I don't have to spend any money, and yet I still get the advent calendar, and my friend gets an advent calendar, and it's fun. And so then I decided to make it this whole huge swap thing with the podcast, and it went off like gangbusters, and we've been doing it ever since. So you can have a partner that's international. So say you're in Belgium and I'm here in Alaska, we could team up and get amazing things from each other that probably neither one of us would have access to, you know. But if you can't afford the international shipping, you can go domestic only, or you could go the North American continent, like Canada and that kind of thing. Okay, so the thing, I have to double check, but usually what we do is we have a certain number of days in the advent calendar that you have to have mini skeins in from your stash, and we prefer it to be stash. You can go and buy a few mini skeins, but we prefer this to be as low cost as possible. We also encourage you to put in a recipe of one of your favorite holiday dishes. Then there's a couple days in there where we allow you to put in little doodads. Last year for mine, one of the doodads that I got was an actual, this is not it, but I got an actual bag that my swap partner had made, project bag, and that was really exciting. I immediately started using it, and it's still being used. I just haven't worked on the project that's in it. So there are rules around that, but the goal here is to have fun with in a budget-friendly manner. Okay, so speaking of swaps, I've decided that we're going to do another one. So it's summertime now. Summertime here in Alaska, and knitting still goes well. You don't really have to edit what you're working on. As you'll see, I'm working on sweaters, I'm working on shawls, I'm working on socks. And well, socks for people around the world during heat is still good. And I'm thinking about starting a blanket. I'm thinking about starting another sweater. In Alaska, you can do that, but in a lot of places, you kind of have to curtail what you're knitting on during the summer months, because it is so hot and it causes you to be you sweat onto your needles, as I've heard that often said. And in fact, I've actually experienced that in Oregon, so I know that's a thing. So what I thought to myself, well, why don't we do a knit along / swap during the summer that everybody can enjoy? And one of the things that I really enjoy is hand knit washcloths. Not kitchen cloths, but things for the bathroom, because I feel like I'm pampering myself when I use a washcloth that I've knit for myself. In fact, there's one up in my bathroom right now that I use to wash my face, and I never use soap on my face, and so it's just water and my organic cotton washcloth. So I thought, well, why don't we do that then? Why don't we do a swap of washcloths and pamper each other this summer. So I'm going to open a thread. Let's see, it is Tuesday, June 11th, and I'm going to have the thread open by the end of today. I'm also going to have this posted by the end of today. That is my goal. I'm going to stick to it. And you can sign up to do a swap, and in that swap I'm going to have the parameters of 2 washcloths, and I'd like them to be more than just Granny's favorite washcloth. You can do that one too, but get to know your partner, your swap partner. Get to know, do they like lace? Do they like solid colors? Do they like color work? Because you can do color work in Tarja with cotton, and you can do that in a washcloth. And I got out this book of mine that I have. No, that's not it. Here it is. I got out this book of one of my books, which is called, this one is The Great North American Afghan. And apparently I've got 2 of these, and they're each different. And this one is all about color work and a rose garden. And so you could do that kind of a swatch or a square. Like I could pull out this pattern from in here, or no, I don't like that one for a washcloth. Okay, we'll say this one for instance. You could do this one in a washcloth, all in cotton. And just like get to know what the colors of your partner would be, what you could do. Cables. You guys see the cables? I hope you can. You can do all kinds of things. There's one in here that I absolutely love. Let's see if I can't find it. Ah, there it is. It's a little cottage with a garden in it. I love it. So you can be very imaginative, or you can go very lacy. I mean, I know this isn't a washcloth, but I mean, it's a book I've got. Gossamer lace webs collection, and it's got a lot of swatches in it. And you can do this kind of thing as well. It's not going to be as effective, but it is going to be very luxurious for the person. You can use 100% cotton, like this that I got on sale at my local yarn shop when it was discontinued. Or you could use linen. You could use a combination of things. Let's just get creative, okay? Now, in the package, you have to have 2 washcloths for your partner. And then I'd like you to find something, a few little doodads for the bathroom that you think would go well with that person. Say chapstick, bath bombs, if they like those kinds of things. Lotion. I hope we can ship lotion. I don't know if you can ship lotion from Alaska. I'll have to figure it out. So we'll have this will be an interesting thing to figure out, you know. Then, at the same time, we're also going to have a finished object thread that you can enter in your finished squares in. Maybe not necessarily. Okay, so how it's going to work is if you do the swap, you automatically get 2 entries into the finished object thread, but you don't have to post what you finished, because as we know, we like it to be a surprise for our swap partner, right? If you knit any other washcloths, you can, or if you don't want to participate in the swap, but you want to knit washcloths and you want to enter it into the washcloth knit along, then you can do that as well and be entered in to win a prize. What prize, you may ask? I have no idea. I'm going to figure it out. Hopefully today or tomorrow I'll be going over to my local yarn shop and I'll take a look and see if there's anything special over there that I can't get for us. And so there'll be a prize there. And this is going to go till mid-August-ish. Yeah, that's the real definitive date. I can't look at the date at the moment because I'm recording on my phone. But it'll be mid-August-ish, before school starts. We'll say that, okay? And for Alaska, that is, I believe, mid-August. For Lower 48, I believe it's like September-ish. So I'm not really sure. Who am I kidding? I have no idea. So those are 2 great things going on in the AndersMill Knits group on Ravelry, and I really hope you guys go over and join us because it's going to be fun. It's going to be really fun. So that's all for administrative. Let's move into in session, shall we? I have quite a few things in session, and I have nothing done. The first thing I'll talk about is this. This is a shawl by Joji Locatelli called the Suburban Wrap. And it's a very interesting construction. It's a shawl slash, I guess you would just call it a wrap, a stole kind of a thing. But it's got an arrow type look to it, or not an arrow type look, but an arrow look to it. And there are 3 colors that you knit the wrap out of. And it goes through different things. It incorporates lace, stripes, texture, and ribbing, which is texture. We know that. So that's what it looks like grayed out. Sorry. This is a very old printed out pattern. I actually cast this on a year ago or more. However, I cast it on with the Likey wooden needles, and I hated my gauge because when you cast on, you knit a 1x1 rib for a certain length of time. And I hated my gauge. Hated it. And I hated how like sticky and like gluey the needles felt next to each other. It was kind of like I was forcing the needles off to separate from each other. Kind of like they were magnets almost to each other. And it just reinforced that I really didn't like wooden needles. Well, I put this shawl aside at that time because of that. And then I found it again, and I put the yarn on my bookshelf to just gaze at, because I thought the collection of yarn, which I will show you in a minute, was just gorgeous and I loved it. And I just kept on hankering to cast it back on. And so last week I did exactly that. And the lace portion here was so freaking addicting. I did it in one day. I couldn't put it down. Now this striping here, while it looks very beautiful, is incredibly boring. I'm just bored with the striping, especially after I just got done with all this beautiful lace. I have to do 14 stripes, no, 15. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I need 3 more. It's taken me all of the camping trip to get to this point because it's so boring. I just had to keep on putting it down, but which was fine because I had my a sweater that I wanted to knit that I recast on the camping trip too, and I got a good deal done there. So what am I knitting this out of, you might ask? The main color, and the color number 1, the teal, is by Plucky Knitter, and I'm sorry this is already looking all wonkadoo. And in the Plucky Feet base, which is 90-10 base, merino nylon, and it's called Move Over Darling. So here's the Plucky Knitter. And then from Swift Yarns, in their Swift Tough Love sock base, I have the Folklore colorway, which I thought looked amazing with this. I really love it. And then from a local mill well, it was local to me in Seattle-ish area, I got some of their, I lost the tag. I've got a bunch of theirs upstairs. I gotta go look it up. But it's just their, I believe this is Targi. Oh, that smells so good. It's got campfire and sheep smell. That is an amazing combination. It sounds disgusting, but it's delicious. Oh, I just want to go back to camping. I just want to live camping, honestly. And it's not just because of the fun and games, but the simplicity of life, you know? It's just great. Anyway, so that's my 3rd color. And I'm about to get into this one as soon as I'm done with the striping of these 2. There's going to be another texture. And I really love this combination. So, I'm really excited to get into this one. I'm hoping I won't be bored with it either, but so this combination is very soothing to me. I can see myself wearing this a lot as soon as I get it done. I've read a lot on the notes for the project that people are making it longer than the finished object is. So finished measurements is 74 inches long and 22 inches wide after blocking. So 74 inches long, that's over 6 feet. And yet people are still making it longer. 6 times 12 is that's 72, right? It's 2 inches longer than 6 feet. Hey, if I could find a man that was 6'2", dude, I'd be good. So a wrap that's 6'2"? You know what? Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll finish the wrap, and then whenever I go on a date with somebody, I'll hold up the wrap and I'll say, okay, if you're as tall or taller than this wrap, then you're a winner. I'm so weird. If you're not, time to move on. I'm totally kidding. My ex-husband was 5'11". You know, as long as they are a little bit taller than me, I'm not asking for much because I'm only 5'2". So as long as you're just a little bit taller than me, I'm okay. I'm good. Oh, Diet Dr. Pepper is so good. I know. Diet soda, cancer, blah, 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 blah. Cancer survivor, I kind of don't care. I'm just grateful that I'm not drinking Mountain Dew. Okay? That's how I'm thinking of this. All right, next project that I really need to work on. So I think my Suburban wrap is going to have to go on the background, into the background thing, because I have to get my Marketplace shawl done. Because Midtown Magic shawl done. And get it off to my Oregon bestie ASAP, because her birthday is one day before mine in July. I'm not even sure if I've knit any on this since the last time we spoke. Really not sure. But I do know, oh wow, that's looking really pretty on there, huh? See all those ends I've got to weave in? Oh wow, that's looking really pretty. That's gonna look really gorgeous on. And see, the thing is this is not saying anything mean, okay? But this is clown barf right here. Like this is a challenging skein from, oh my gosh, I've lost my thing, but it's from Knitted Wit, and I think it's called Love is Love colorway. And it's got a lot of beautiful, vibrant colors in it, but it's a challenging skein because you don't know exactly what to knit with it. Now, I think I'm going to knit some ankle socks from this afterwards because I just think that'll be totally fun. But my friend picked this out. She fell in love with the skein when we were at a fiber festival because she was so lovely that even though she doesn't knit, she just goes with me to these things. And she fell in love with this skein, but she didn't want socks. She wanted to wear it. Well, how was I going to make that happen? So I paired it with Malabringo black, and I did this shawl. And I think it's coming out amazing. It looks awesome. You know, so anyway, so I'm on the mesh, and this is a free pattern on Ravelry, so Midtown Magic, and I'm on this mesh part here. That's the finishing area of the shawl. So it's not really going to take me very long to finish this. At least my head is saying that. So I just want to get on it and get it done. And then I'm hoping to have just enough time to knit those shorty socks, hopefully for her too. Although she doesn't really wear socks at all, so I don't know if that would be even appropriate. She always wears those shoes that are, you know, girly. And you can't like high heels and things like that. And so she can't really wear knitted socks with those. So I don't know if she'd wear them. But the next thing I'm working on is, ironically, Granny's favorite washcloth, or dishcloth. And oh my, the skein is just undone completely. So this is another free pattern on Ravelry. I've done it many times. I don't even need to look it up anymore. Cast on 4 stitches, knit 2, yarn over, knit to the end, and turn your work for the next row, knit 2, yarn over, knit to the end, and that's your increases. Once you've gotten the number of stitches on your needles that you want, as in the width that you want, because this is knit diagonally, I guess, you then start decreasing by knitting one, knit one, knit two together, I believe. Oh shoot, maybe I do need to look it up because it has been a while since I've done that part. And then you knit across and do the same thing back. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. Go ahead and look it up. It's super simple. This is being knit out of a Michael's yarn that I got from, it's Premier yarn, and it's 100% cotton, 140 yards. It's a, oh no, cotton blended with polyester. Oh, I thought this was, so what are they saying? I have to open this up. Oh, look, they even have a ruler printed on the inside. That's handy. So this is cotton blended with polyester means projects stay brighter, dry faster, and last longer. Okay. Oh, it is. It's 85% cotton and 15% polyamide or polyester. Polyester is not the same thing as polyamide, sorry. So there you go. I do love the color. It's very soft, kind of a sea glass color. It's very nice. And I have knit quite a few washcloths out of this yarn, and it stays hardy. And yeah, they're right, actually. I would recommend Premier yarns for washcloths. Dishcloths, more like, rather than washcloths. I think they would be good in that sense. So then, that's 3 projects down. We've got quite a few more to go, so don't you worry. The next project I'm working on are socks for my bestie, and the yarn has been giving me trouble. I think it's because of the way I wound it. I must not have wound it very well. I'm doing another Mina Phillips pattern on this. It's very pretty. It's just knit in the Malabrigo sock colorway. Colorway. Oh, there's no dyelet. Oh, no dyelet. Okay. Fresco e Secco 128. Fresco e Secco. I love it, and my best friend loves it. He very much loves trees, and so he likes these colors a lot. So I'm getting, I think actually I'm at the point where I'm doing the heel, or I stopped because I needed to start the heel. I can't remember which pattern this is. I do believe, I know it's one of her New York Street socks. It could be North Avenue, or maybe that was the last one I knit of hers. I don't know, but I like them because they keep my interest, but I don't need a pattern to do this. It's really, I just have to memorize one row, and then it's a rest row, and then you just keep on going. So working on that. Then another one for my bestie is another pair of socks. This one is just a oh, I was just wondering what something was. What's it called? It's just a stocking knit sock, and I had knit past the heel on it, but then when I went and had my best friend try it on, we noticed that it fit well, but that the length was too short for him. He likes really long socks. He likes boot socks. And I told him, I'm sorry. Okay. Sorry, hold on, guys. So he likes really long boot socks. The problem is that I don't want to knit him really long boot socks out of this yarn because I'm actually really struggling with this yarn. It doesn't do well with my my red lace, my Chiago red lace with the red lace tips. The yarn keeps splitting, and it's a cashmere base. Anyway, I'll get to that. Anyway, so he tried it on. It was too short for his liking, so I knit a couple more inches, and then I re-knit the heel, and I told him, you know what, on this pair of socks, you're gonna have to live with it. So here is the yarn, which I don't know okay, I have no idea who it's by or anything. I've lost all the tags and everything. I'm really good at that, really good. But it's a lovely, lovely skein. It's a silk base. I mean, no, not silk base. It has cashmere in it, which I thought, you know, my best friend deserves to be spoiled. So I love the gray the really light gray, and then it has some dark gray, and then flecks of blue. Can you see the flecks of blue? There's some right there. And then I took one of my skeins that I dyed up. There's a bumblebee behind me getting your honey. And then another one just flew into the camera. I took one of my Tough Love sock bases, and this is the, I think this is the Mr. Darcy, or no, this is Pembrokeshire base. No, this is the Lake District colorway. There we go. I knew the name of this colorway, the Lake District. And I did the Fish Lips Kiss heel on that, and I thought it went really well with the blues that you can see in the main yarn too. And he really liked it, and that's good because I just wanted to make sure that I have enough yarn since he wanted longer cuffs. I should be fine. He's only a size 10, I believe. 9 or 10. I forget a lot. So it's not hard. I love the sound of the bee. It just makes me so happy because it's a bumblebee. It's not one of those meat eater bees that, oh man, they were so prevalent in Oregon. Okay, let me see. Yep, okay. Last project, sort of. And I'm really happy with this one. A couple weeks ago, when I discovered that I was, so I found out I was selling, that I had a buyer for my house. And as some of you know who have bought or sold houses, buying or selling a house is actually kind of an ordeal. A lot goes into it. A lot of things can hold it up from actually finishing the closing. Sometimes deals don't even go through. I was lucky my deal did go through, but it was 10 days after the original closing date. So the day of the original closing date, I had decided that I was going to just hang out at my local yarn store, and I was going to buy myself something to cast on as a woohoo kind of a thing. I'm selling my house finally, and I had wanted to knit the confetti sweater, and I've had it in my library for a long time. It's by Vera Valimaki, and it's an A-line shape, so it's very fitted around the bust, and then it's A-line, so it's very flattering for all types of people, especially my body type, because here's the deal. I've got great breasts. I'm just gonna say it. They're good. Although, since I've been losing weight because of the exercise, they've deflated. But anyway, they're still good. And I like clothes that accent that. However, I also have, people keep on telling me I don't really have a belly, but I feel like I have a belly. And I know I have back rolls. They're a lot less prominent now, but they're still there. And those I'm very self-conscious about. So, when we're talking about an A-line shaped sweater that shows off my good parts and hides my not so good parts, Emily is all on board. And to add to that, my good friend at the yarn shop decided that not only does she love Elspeth Lovell's silky wool, but that she would have it in her shop, every single colorway that they have. So she had it. And so I spent a great afternoon with another knitting friend of mine named Emily. We love that we're both named Emily. At first it was a little awkward, but now we just have fun with it. And Kay and Annie, and we just went through all the different colors that they had of Elspeth Lovell, and we came up with these two, so a plummy and then a ballerina pink for my colors. And so my main color is the plum, and then the striping is the ballerina. And I've been working on the, sorry, I'm trying to get to, I think this is the, yeah. But the problem is, hold on, how does this go? Because we have, okay, so, yeah, okay, so it's like this. So we have a lot of short rows. So we cast on the yoke. I cast on the yoke. And at first I didn't like it. I had to actually recast it on. And I got really discouraged at first. But you know what? After I recast it on, it's just gone like gorgeously simple. And I'm noticing that a lot with things that I cast on. Like a lot of times, outside of socks, a lot of times the things I cast on, I don't really think I'm doing things right or well the first time I'm knitting it. And I get discouraged with myself and the process, and I'll put them aside. But just like with the Suburban wrap, this sweater, I put it aside and then I picked it back up and I ripped it all out and I started again. And now that I understand the pattern completely, because that's sometimes what happens too. And I know what happened both with the Suburban wrap and with the confetti sweater. I was having a hard time understanding the directions, and I don't know why. I don't know why a year ago I was having a hard time understanding the Suburban wrap, and I'm not having a hard time now, and I don't understand exactly. Maybe it's because I just let things sit and molder. I noticed that a lot of times with me, I might jump into something gung-ho and head first and really just dive into things all the way and just like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. But it's not until I sit back and allow myself to just relax and think about things, or not even think about things, just let them kind of, percolate in the back of my brain, that things start to make sense and I start to understand things. And so that's what's also happened with the confetti sweater. I keep showing you. So the confetti sweater, and it's been going marvelous. So I've gotten past the back of the yoke shaping, and I'm increasing now for the sleeves, and I think it looks marvelous. There we go. That's still not exactly the color. That's the color. There we go. I love it. It's gonna be so marvelous. I meant to bring down, I totally forgot. Oh, I'm knitting these on US size 6, I believe. Let's see, does it say on here? No, US size 5s. And again, this pattern calls for fingering weight. Technically, Elspeth Levold, they decided to do their swatch gauge at DK weight. I would put, though, for me, I would put Elspeth Levold Silky Wool at a sport weight knitting up for me. So a size 5 is loose and drapey. But at the same time, it gives me enough structure so that it's not see-through. Well, I say see-through, and there it is, see-through. But I'm not gonna have to wear an undershirt with this. So I went down a size on the pattern. Let's see, I am knitting, I think just a size large. No, extra large. So I'm knitting a size extra large, and they're calling for a gauge of 24 stitches to 4 inches. So, but for me, using the larger needles, which for them, the larger needles were US size 4, and I went up to a US size 5, and I was getting 5.5 stitches to the inch using the larger needles. So my smaller needles that I did, like the ribbing on the collar, was a US size 3, and that's also what the ribbing on my 3/4 inch length sleeves are going to be made out of too. I'm going to switch to a US size 3 here and a 3 here, and that'll be plenty big. And so I also took a lesson from that last sweater that I did that was A-lined, and yet again I knit a size way too large for me. It doesn't look good on me because it's so big. I'm gonna have to rip that one out too, which is no big deal, because guess what, then I can knit the same sweater, because I do still want that sweater, just in a smaller size, and I know I'm gonna have enough yarn just from what I rip out. So, and that's living inside my Higa bag from Fat Squirrel Speaks. And then one last thing I knit a swatch for, but I'm not sure if I'm going to knit it. It's a beautiful, beautiful sweater. It's just that I worry that even at the largest size, it's not going to be big enough for me, and that's going to show off all my rolls, is the ruby lace top. And you do have to buy this one. You know what? I'm going to put a picture of it right here for you, because this is printed in black and white and it's not showing it very well. It is by Susie Sparkles, and all the reviews online for this Susie Sparkles lady, who is UK, I think, based designer, because she does everything in centimeters and things like that. And so anyway, she might be in Canada, who knows? I haven't looked it up. Let's see. She just says, do not hesitate to email me. So I loved knitting this swatch. The lace is gorgeous, and I would really like a lace weight sweater, and I really like this pattern. My only concern is, I'm trying to find a place. There! Look at that. My only concern is that, like I said, even at her largest size, which is extra large to fit bust 46 to 48, it might be a little bit snug on me. But then again, I might just try it anyway. And the marvelous thing about it, since it's a lace weight sweater, 2 freaking skeins is all I need. Actually, I don't even hardly need the second skein at all. I only need 990 meters or 1,082 yards. And in one of these skeins, we have 820 yards. So I only need like 1/4 of this skein to knit the entire freaking sweater. So, and what I also love about this designer is that she gives you 3 options to knit this for the sweater. You can do cap sleeve, you can do 3/4 length sleeve, and then she also has it for, I don't know if she's got a picture. No. Full length sleeves. Perfect, right? So you get to choose. Now this is the kind of sweater that you do need to wear camisole underneath, but you know, who's gonna complain about that? Because it's just plain gorgeous. I had printed off a pattern by Isabel Kramer that I really wanted to knit, and I thought it was knit out of lace weight because that's what it came up under in my search. But it's lace weight held double, sort of. It's 2 different lace weight yarns held together. And so I might just knit this out of one of my fingering weight stashes, because I really like this, and I really kind of want to do it. Actually, I don't know if I want to do it short sleeve or long sleeve, but I really, really liked this. It's called Yuma, or Yume, Y-U-M-E, and I want to knit that. I love that little lace yoke at the top. There's so many sweaters I want to knit, and not enough time. So literally nothing done. Nothing done at all, but lots of fun things on the needles, and so I'm really happy about that. Actually, that's a lie. Did I show you guys my mom's socks? Oh, so okay, so the socks that I finished the last time, and I said I didn't know who they were for. It could have been me, could have been for Christmas or somebody. I had forgotten about Mother's Day. So they were my Mother's Day socks. So there you go. So why don't we move on to my acquiring portion. My nieces and nephews were over yesterday, and they had peanut butter sandwiches, and it got in with their bag got in with my goodies. So I got my monthly installment of Row 1 yarns. So everybody knows how happy that makes Emily. Oh, I literally, I think the other night when after I got this month's installment, I don't think I was daydreaming. I think I was asleep. and dreaming about what I was gonna knit with these things. So this month's installment comes from a lady that I really like her color sense really a lot. There's literally just one skein in here that I don't think goes well with me, but yet I still like the colorway. It's called the Machete Shop, M-A-C-H-E-T-E, and then shop is spelled S-H-O-P-P-E, even though the lady is out of Pennsylvania. So Brittany Petco is the brilliant artist behind Machete Shop, and this is a quote from her. I do just about everything from dyeing the yarn to managing all the behind the scenes in my dye studio on our farm nestled in the heart of the Poconos of Pennsylvania. I specialize in small batch hand-dyed yarn made with love and artistry. I still consider myself a stay-at-home mom, so you'll find many times your packages sent off with loving logo stickers perfectly placed on from little hands eager to help. And I just loved it. So the base I got is her simple sock. It's a squishy and delightful 75% merino and 25% nylon, and it comes in 463 yards of 100 grams. And so I got 100 grams. So I have in this bag 463 yards, only I got a lot of her colorways. So just a few that I absolutely, oh my gosh, I just, like, there's just no words for this beauty. Roadie days. Like, come on. Then another one that I really like that I actually think I want to knit a sweater out of is Tula. It's very subtle. Actually, that might be, no, I think that'd be good for me. Ooh, I wonder if Tula would be good for that Yum sweater. I'll have to go and see if I and email this Brittany lady, see what she thinks about dyeing me up some. It's got some acidy green. It's a speckled, obviously. The yarn base is kind of a cream white. It's got splotches of pink, acidy green, and yellow. Love it. Another one that you just cannot not love is called Moria. Now that one would be perfect as some kind of slouchy hat, I think, to show off the colors, and I think you'd look really rockin' in that. Actually, I would look really rockin' in that. Let's just be honest. One that I think this was the one that I really wanted the sweater out of. Yep, this was the one. Kombucha brew. Like, stop the freaking presses. You just can't. So the main color is a soft pink, kind of a blushy pink, but with a little bit of peach overtone. Then we've got acid yellow, purple, pink, peach, teal blue. I feel like I'm missing a color. Nope, I'm not. Did I mention? Oh, a little bit of orange. Or maybe that's just some blending. Let's see if I can show you. See it? I don't know. I love it though. See? You guys vote. Which one? You just, ooh, I love it. Oh, and this one, absolutely love. Mermaid Jewels. I could see my niece knitting a lot of things in this for herself. It's very romantic and yet like Punky Brewster. Romantic Punky Brewster. Is that a thing? We'll say it's a thing. Another one that I absolutely love. Oh my gosh. Hedge Witch. Can you see that? So it's got an undertone of gray with blue, hot pink, acid yellow, green, orange, pink. That sounds so disgusting when I'm saying it, but look at that. There's no denying how gorgeous that is. You just can't. And then one that I think I would like to get for my bestie is called Crick Water. And I love this one. Undertone of bluey gray, and then it's got some greens and oranges. Yeah. I think it's perfect for a man, especially for socks. The only colorway that I don't think works for me, but that I still love, is Trippin' on Goldfish. And now this has kind of an orangey pink, peach undertone with all those other colors that I've mentioned before, but better. Teal, acid green, blue, pink, a lavender purple, or a lilac purple maybe is more the color. A sea green. So can you see the sea green right there? So it's got beautifulness going on. And the last two colors I'll just show really fast. We've got Parlor Room, which is very also romantic. The bees come back. And I think would be very beautiful for, again, my niece. And then Small Skeletal, which is another, I think, very appropriate man. Or, let me see, there was one in here. That would be interesting. No, it wouldn't be good. Actually, I kind of like this. Oh, no. This was what I was thinking. It'd be interesting to stripe something with these two. But you know what? Then again, I like this too, right? I wonder what it would look like. I don't think it would look good. No, I don't like it with the goldfish. But kombucha brew would go well, right? To stripe it. Anyway, so I am not gonna use any of these for an actual shawl. This is actually going into my stash for my row 1 yarn blanket that I'm going to be casting on. And so what also came with it was some yummy Laffy Taffies that I ate, and then a stitch marker of a flower. But I haven't opened it yet. There we go. There you go. All right, I'm sorry about the background noise of the mowing lawns. We're almost done. I'll just put all that away later. Oh, I've got a beautiful dragonfly in my stuff. It's so beautiful. I wish you guys could see it. Okay, the last thing I'm going to show you this month is my from the Cozy Knitter. My monthly shop, my monthly yarn thing subscription. This one I got, it's called the Bliss Base in the Mimosa colorway. And I thought, I don't know if I've shown you all the other ones. So all of hers for mine come with the mini skein and the main skein. So then from months past, I've also gotten this one, which is called Cheerful. That might have been my first installment, actually. Then I've got Tutti Frutti on Rudy. Tutti Frutti on Rudy. Tutti Frutti on Rudy. That's all I know from that song. A wop, bop, a loo, wop, a wop, bam, boom. Okay, then we've got Ugly Duckling. And I have to admit, it's kind of an ugly skein. I'm actually really wanting to knit this up to see how it knits up. And my last one, which I'm going to be casting on probably today or at least this week, is going to be socks for my sister for her birthday, which is also next month, is called Polar Vortex. And blues are her favorite. All of these are on her Bliss Base, which is a fingering weight, 80% superwash merino and 20% nylon. You get 115 grams or 4 ounces and 420 yards total. So there's approximately 85 grams of stripes and 30 grams in the mini. So there you go. It still says to hand wash in cold water because, but even though it's super wash, I don't know. But that's what I'm gonna be casting off for my sissy soon. Okay, last little bit will be my little blurb about mental health. And I thought this week I would talk about the whole letting things go into the universe. I mentioned it a little bit earlier. So life is frustrating. Life can be very difficult. And a lot of times we feel that it's not fair. And you know what? That feeling is justified because guess what? Life is not fair. And people who do bad things are getting rewarded. People who do good things are getting overlooked and forgotten. And people who work hard all their lives never have anything in savings. And then people just born into money, or just have it come naturally to them. So then there's other things like, why isn't that my marriage didn't work out? That doesn't seem fair to me. He's still the man of my dreams. He's not the man of my dreams. Let's just be truthful. I love him, but I'm no longer in love with him. But there are people in this world that are unable to get beyond that love, that they feel that they were cheated in some way, that the love of their life has gone away, that their love of their life is completely ignoring them, or they want that person back, kind of a thing. All of this stuff. No, hold on. First I want to say, you work really hard in this life. I hope you do anyway. I hope you're not sitting there just saying, why is it that terrible things happen to me, and just letting things happen instead of going out there and influencing your life. Maybe that's more what I'm trying to talk about today, is influencing your life. I have now been sort of out of work since last September. I went on FMLA because of traumas that happened to me back then, and then when I got back up here, I had a job for a short time that really wasn't healthy, and then I've just been substitute teaching ever since. And I've been looking for the right job the whole time, and I've been applying to jobs and just not seeming to get that right one. I keep coming really close a lot of times, and then something happens. And so it's really hard to stay positive a lot of times about this. However, here's the thing. I know within myself that I am doing all that I can to make things happen and to be on the positive, correct path. I'm doing my self-care. I'm going to counseling. I am doing the work of applying to jobs, putting myself out there, following up with potential interviewees or interviewers and corporations. I am making sure that I am still hitting the streets running. There comes a time, though, where you've done all that you can do, and you just have to then sit back and remind yourself of where you are, and that life is still going to be okay with or without whatever that thing is that you're working so hard for. Your life is not going to end. Your life may be better with that thing in your life, but your life is still going to go on a trajectory. That you can still make good things happen in your life if you don't have that. So, for instance, this current job that I really would like to get, I've done the interviews. I've given them a lot of references. I have tried my hardest to answer any and all questions and concerns they may have. And I now just have to sit back and say, you know what? I would really love this job, but if I don't get it, I will be okay. Something just as good or better will come along if I don't have this job. As long as I keep putting in the work, and as long as I keep being okay with who I am. Does that make sense? So as long as I continue putting in the work of the self-care, the work of hitting the streets, the work of continually talking to myself, to letting myself know that to make sure that I'm crossing all my T's and dotting all my I's, but not to the point that I'm neurotic or obsessive, okay? Just making sure that things get done and then letting it go. So, and I also believe very strongly in the power of good feelings and good wishes from others. So all of my family is hoping that I get a great job. And they're going to be very happy for me if I get a job here in Anchorage, or if I get a job out in the Valley, or even in the lower 48, which I haven't started looking in the lower 48, but maybe I will if this doesn't come to fruition. But I just know that they're going to be happy for me. And that goodwill that they're projecting and those good wishes that they're projecting is also aiding me. It might not be aiding me in the fact that, like, this would be weird. Like, the people who interviewed me are feeling those good vibes from my family and be like, oh, I'm feeling good vibes, I should just hire him. Like, no. That's not what I'm talking about. Their goodwill and their good wishes is helping me because I'm feeling their good wishes. I know it's there. I know their support is there. I know their positive energy is coming my way in waves. And because of that, I have the strength to go on. Also because of my inner strength as well, my inner resilience. And that's another thing we're going to talk about sometime soon. So the reason I want to talk about this is there may be something in your life that you've been working really hard for. And you might be putting too much stress on yourself. You might be constantly thinking about it. You might, and probably having some obsessive thoughts like, why isn't he calling me back? Why isn't she texting me? Why haven't I gotten this house that I really wanted to buy this house? And why did somebody else get it? And why did their offer get accepted and mine didn't? Why did I just lose my job? And constantly going over and over and over again. So that's energy that you're putting into those thoughts is taking away from the possibility of positivity. It's actually because of those negative thoughts and obsessive thoughts, because you can't know unless you go up to, let's say, for instance, you lost out on the buying of a house. Unless you go up to that seller and say, why did you choose theirs instead of mine? It could be as simple as, well, I didn't have to pay their closing costs, and you wanted me to pay your closing costs. But unless you actually have the ability to go up to that person or that entity and ask them exactly why something didn't or did happen, every thought that you're having in your head is just conjecture, hypotheses, and negative thought processes. So when you're sitting there thinking in your head, why isn't she texting me? Why isn't he calling me? Oh, he must be out on a date with another person. Oh, that person in my church isn't texting me because she thinks that I'm a snob. Those kinds of things. Like, that is all conjecture and all negative. So when you start finding yourself having those ruminating thoughts, I want you to just take a step back, pause, and say, you know what? I actually have no idea if that's really what's happening. That's just the gospel according to Emily. That's just my idea as to why something's happening. Since I can't know, either A, I'm going to find out by approaching those people in a respectful and gentle manner, or B, I'm going to let it go. Just let it go. There's nothing I can do about it. I've done all the work. I put in that offer to that house. I gave them my best offer, and I still didn't get it. I did all of the things I was asked to do in my church, and yet still I'm not getting, like, friends. Like, she's not texting me back. We're never going to get coffee. Those kinds of things. Or he's not calling me. I've done all the things. I made myself all pretty. We went out on that date. I kissed him, all this kind of stuff, and he's still not calling me back. I don't know why. I just gotta let it go. Gotta let it go and move on. And think about something else. Put your energy, Put your energy into something else in your life that is positive. For instance, we all that are watching this, well, yeah, love knitting. So, get out a favorite project and just start knitting. That's positivity. And start thinking about all the good things that are happening in your life around knitting. Think about your friends near and far, not electronical, what is it called? Virtual and in person. Think about your favorite project. Think about future projects. If you're a carpenter, think about things that you want to make out of wood, Father's Day's coming up. I really would have liked to have made my dad a key ring holder, if that makes sense. I mean, it's a little simple thing, but he's always losing his keys. It's not something I can do. Or, my kitchen's been kind of bothering me because of the way that it's organized. It's really not functional. Maybe I'll just go in and take one cupboard a day and reorganize that cupboard. And things that don't belong in that cupboard, I'll put over on the table, and I'll get to them when I get to the cupboard that they're actually supposed to be in. And that might mean that your kitchen is in more disarray for a time than it was before you started this process, but because you have a positive end goal, it's going to help you. Does that make sense? I hope it does. And I hope you guys all take this time to let things go and use the power of positivity, the law of attraction, if you will, to do all that you can on something and then let it go. Tell yourself, I've done all I can, and if I don't get that boy, I will still be okay. If I don't get that friendship with that lady in my church, I will still be okay because I know that I did all the right things, and there are other women in the church that will like me. If I don't get that house, as much as I loved that house, there will be another house. I lost that job, but you know what? I have skills. I can go out and get myself another job. It might not be tomorrow, but you know what? It's going to be a healthier, more positive, more encouraging job than the one that I just got let go from. And there's, these are just examples. So just use them in whatever context that is happening in your life right now, and allow yourself to feel the power and the energy that comes into your being when you start focusing and letting go at the same time. All right? So that's my little mental health blurb for today. I thank you all for joining me. Please go ahead and click subscribe down below, if you will, and share this video with those of your loved ones and friends that they might find helpful or interesting. I would really appreciate that. And I'm wishing you good health, good love, and remember to knit what you love and love what you knit. Take care, everybody.